What graphic organizer is beneficial for comparing and contrasting? Talk to your team to determine the graphic organizer that is most helpful when charting likenesses and differences within two topics. If you and your team said Venn diagram, you are exactly right. Your team will be listening to a story called Toys of Yesterday and Today. It is important that you follow all of the directions and do what is asked of the team during the activity pages.
Toys of Yesterday and Today. Most kids today like to play with toys. Pioneer children like to play with toys too. Some of the toys they played with are similar to modern toys. Other Pioneer toys are very different from modern toys. Have you ever thought about toys from the past? Come along and learn about the toys of yesterday and today. Children in the 1800s played with some of the same toys kids play with today. For example, they played with blocks and dolls. They also had small toy animals and trains like modern children do. They also like to do some of the same things modern kids like to do for fun. For example, Pioneer kids like to play make-believe. They also like to build things. Some Pioneer toys were made out of the same materials as modern toys. Like their modern day relatives, Pioneer toys were made out of wood, cloth, and metal. Pioneer children often made their own toys. They used things they could find easily. For example, dolls were made from apple cores and corn husks. Pioneer toys were usually plain and simple. Children or adults made the toys by carving wood. Few Pioneer families could afford to buy toys. Today, children usually buy their toys at the store. Most modern toys are made by machines and materials such as plastic. The blocks a Pioneer child played with were usually made of wood. Today's blocks are often made of cloth or plastic. Modern blocks, unlike Pioneer blocks, are usually brightly painted. Modern toys often come neatly wrapped in boxes or bags. Toys have changed over the years, but one thing has remained constant. Children still enjoy playing with toys.
Okay, boys and girls, at this point, I am going to show you a graphic organizer that is not a Venn diagram. It is a chart, and this is another way you can record information from texts. And I will briefly show you an example, and then we'll move on to practicing comparing and contrasting with a Venn diagram. I have three areas labeled: Pioneer toys, Pioneer and Modern toys, and Modern toys. Down below, I have some descriptions of toys. Your job is to look at the toys descriptions and put them in the correct classification. So for instance, if I took homemade, where would that go in our chart? Talk to your team before I show you the answer. Where would homemade toys go? If you chose Pioneer toys, you are exactly right. All Pioneer toys were made at home. Another example, what about machine made? Talk to your team where machine made would go. If you and your team decided that machine made toys were most common during the modern time, which is today, you are exactly right. And let's do one more. How about make-believe toys? Toys that encourage children to make believe. If you and your team said Pioneer and modern toys both help children make believe, you are exactly right. Now what I'm going to have you do is fill in a Venn diagram talking about toys of the pioneer days versus toys of modern days. So this next page is an example of what that Venn diagram would look like. This red section is all toys from pioneer days. This section is toys of modern day, toys that you would play with today. And in the middle, these would be all the examples of toys that could either be played with during pioneer days and modern days. What I would like you and your team to do is to get a word bank. Read the different types of toys on the word bank. And then using a Venn diagram, and I'd like for you to talk to your team about this, I'd like for you to put each toy description in the correct spot on the Venn diagram. If it's a Pioneer toy, label it under Pioneer. If it's modern, label it under modern. And if it can be in both, please label your Venn diagram as Pioneer and Modern toys. If you are a Vermilion Sailor, you will not be using a word bank. What I would like for you to do is go back into the story and find descriptions of toys for each time period. Enjoy and have fun.